Hello VC, it's Alexander and I'm finally back. Just wanted to make a short video update. Of course I've been digging for vinyl. Took a trip to France, did a bunch of stuff. Also just kind of oversaturated in the category here for the VC. But with all that said, everything's good in my world. Collecting a lot, doing well. So without further ado, this is a thrift find to start a trade for two different records, two different stores, and then an incredible dig. So this all just happened within 2-day period earlier last week. So let's get into it. Just traded away 75 about records from my classical section. Don't worry about it. I have over 300 in the category. It's still very well represented. When I donated those to a thrift store nearby, I decided to go take a quick look. There were a bunch of records waiting to be put out, and they were on, one of those big carts. So decided to take a peek, because you got to. Broke my cardinal sin on the very first record I took, but it's a favorite soloist of mine. This is Arturo Benedetti Michelangeli, and this is his Schumann's Carnival Opus number 9. So not a work I'm very familiar with. Schumann, very troubled composer, heard voices in his head, jumped into the waters there, but very cool. This pianist has a fantastic touch. I have his CD of him doing Debussy, and it is just phenomenal. So I'm kind of always on the lookout for him. Also, I would gladly break my rule for soloists in the violin realm too. Very quickly behind that, the great Gregory Isaacs Showcase. Little bit, so this is all from this thrift store. Little bit of seam split, but this is a 1980 record coming out on Taxi Records. Bada boom, bada bing. What a very cool inner. Yeah, that's great stuff. Generally, I dig a lot at thrift stores. I do find Bob Marley occasionally a Peter Tosh album. I just found a bunch of his CDs and I bought them all. But never Gregory Isaacs. So very happy to have that. This next one, Admiral Tibet, War in a Babylon. So pretty much any reggae, all of these records for real are pristine. Some look like they might have been played maybe once or twice. This is a good album. It is not a great album. Just that I would take a chance, right? If they're $4 and it's a category that I'm excited about, let's give it a whirl. Also, it's off Ras 1987, but look how cool he looked, How could that be bad? And it isn't bad. It's fine. It's fine reggae. Okay, but these were the two that kind of knocked me out. This is an artist I never see. Tom Waits, Foreign Affairs, and it is crispy clean. Beautiful, sharp edges. Yes, okay, you got one little corner bump there. Other than that, we are looking at a beautiful original record off of Asylum, 1977, Tom Waits. But the one for me, you're a swordfish trombone person, no shade. That's awesome. If you're a real gone person, great. This is my sweet spot. Closing Time. Originally released in 1973 on Asylum Records. This is a 1975 repress. And yes, it is super freaking clean. Very happy to have it. All of those records were $4. So a piece, $4 a piece. Okay, took a break from Instagram. As soon as I jumped back on, of course, follow a bunch of record stores all over the country, and a bunch in my own backyard. And Gimme Gimme out in Highland Park posted this record. Spirit of Eden, Talk Talk. Now this is their seminal recording. This is really at the zenith of it. This is like being in church. To me, this is the equivalent of like that wonderful Blue Nile sound. I was turned on to this by Max Richter in the home of Derek G. So Derek G, fantastic YouTuber, go watch him. I was introduced to the Derek G channel by MJ Lenderman being on there, but essentially the premise is you're in his home and you're sharing music with one another. I had never heard this record. Max Richter kind of swore by it, and it is a holy piece of music. So I traded a boatload of records for Talk Talk. I still have some leftover credit, and I can't wait to go back to that store. Fantastic store if you're over in the Highland Park area. I took the balance of those records I had, taken out, culled out of the collection, and I took them to Amoeba because those were records that he wasn't as interested in. So I took them over to Amoeba to get credit as well. They had already been pulled out. Didn't want to bring them back to the house. And Amoeba gave me a generous credit as well. So that felt very good. I perused the new arrivals, and what do you know? I left with Roy Ayers' Ubiquity. Everybody Loves the Sunshine. Yes, it's an original stereo copy on Polydor. I believe it comes out in 1973. This is a fantastic album. This is a little bit more funk jazz. Definitely feeling the soul here. Really, really lucky to add it. $35 of my trade credit, so I still have balance at Amoeba. How cool is that? Okay, but now the last and maybe best finds was at Atomic, one of my favorite record stores. I do like to go there. I try to go maybe once every other week, but frequently I've been going once a week, and it just so happens that they had come up on an incredible punk collection and jazz collection, two independent of each other. So I was looking in the rock section, and very quickly I found the Chameleons UK. This is a script of The Bridge. This is their first album. This is a 1983 repress with the promo stamp, with these super, I love them, but I could see how someone could find them very annoying hype stickers. Terrific post-punk band. That's their first work. I was turned on to their works by their fourth album that I had come across. And yeah, haven't looked back. So I do try to add Chameleons UK when I find it. Quickly behind that, holy hell, what is this? Why, it's the Locust Abortion Technician, of course. 1987 Butthole Surfers album. It is unbelievable. If you had told me long ago, this is an original 1987 on Touch and Go, by the way. Bam! If you had told me long ago that none of the songs I would listen to sound like Pepper, the song that introduced me to that wonderfully twisted world of music, I wouldn't know what to do. But to me, they're kind of like the David Lynch of music, and it's as uncomfortable as you want to be, and that's where I like to be, as much as I can stand. But I loved that cover, had to have it, and I think it's actually pretty cool. It's a little bit more punk, a little more edge, but it's very cool. Okay, now the real heat. So I was pulled to the back by the two brothers, the operators of Atomic Records, and they had just shown me some of these really, really excruciatingly rare free jazz, spiritual jazz records. We're talking Strata East, Tribe, self-released, Joe McPhee, Bird Lancaster, and then all the others. And so I'm not so into free jazz, but I do find it crazy. There was recordings I've never even seen before. But I made a play on two of them. It was about 35 records they showed me, and I would have done more. I just, you have to be sane, right? Got a very good price on both of those records. Really spent nothing compared to what they are worth in Discogs. Same as here. Nathan Davis Quintet, The Hip Walk. So I was introduced to this artist by those wonderful Sam recordings. This is delicious music. This is a man who made his bread and butter in Europe, and those Sam recordings are definitely worth checking out. As a result of that, I've been looking around record stores, and I will come across some of his stuff, and I've got a good smattering of his works. Now, this is a pristine copy, but it is a second German copy on the MPS label. The original comes out on Saba in 1965. That's from 1971. But no matter, because it was pristine, and I paid right at the Discogs median. So who cares? That's a great deal. The other one, this is only more rare in the Discogs median realm. Otherwise, I think that's the rarer piece, or the piece that's more desirable for me. But I never see these records, so I thought I would ask, and they gave me a reasonable price, and so I said yes. Cecil McBee's Mutima, are you kidding me? An original copy as well. Actually, all of these records appeared to be never played. So can you imagine that? And again, only Discogs median price. So I feel like I made out like a bandit, had to make a video. I hope everyone is well. Yeah, again, I'm doing well. So I look to make more content regularly for you all. Thank you so much and for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.